How do we really choose the people we fall in love with? Is it purely instinct? Is it destiny? Or is there something deeper at play? In today's fast-paced modern world, we're often told to follow our hearts and trust our feelings. But what if that's not always the best path to lasting happiness? Let's dive into the surprising truths about how we actually choose our life partners, and what we can do to make better choices. Romanticism and its influence. Under the spell of romanticism, we've been taught to trust our instincts when it comes to love. Romanticism promises that love is a magical connection, a euphoric feeling we experience with someone who is not only beautiful on the outside, but also has the unique power to make us happy on the inside. Sounds ideal, right? But here's the twist. This advice has often led to more heartache than happiness. Trusting those instant sparks in a nightclub or at a party? Turns out, that might not be the best guide for choosing a life partner. And in fact, the results of relying on just chemistry or gut feelings have sometimes been just as problematic as those old-school arranged marriages. The power of familiarity. Here's where things get interesting. While we believe we're falling for someone who will care for us in all the right ways, the truth is, we often choose people who care for us in ways that are simply familiar. Yes, you heard that right. The relationships we form in adulthood are heavily influenced by the love we experienced as children. Whether it was nurturing or filled with conflict, the way we were loved, or not loved, shapes our romantic attractions. We may think we're chasing happiness, but more often, we're just chasing what we've known since childhood. Why nice doesn't always feel right. Ever noticed how sometimes the most balanced, mature, and reliable people just don't seem exciting enough? It's not that they're doing anything wrong, quite the opposite. They might actually be perfect for us. But because they don't fit the chaotic or unbalanced patterns we're used to from childhood, their rightness can feel strange or even unearned. In other words, we might reject them, not because they're wrong for us, but because they're too right. Crazy, isn't it? Breaking the cycle. So, how do we break this cycle? The first step is to reflect on the patterns that might be driving our romantic choices. Grab a notebook, a pen, and an open afternoon, and ask yourself, what types of people do you tend to be attracted to, and why? Are they truly aligned with what will make you happy, or are they just familiar reflections of the past? Understanding these patterns can be eye-opening. You might find that you've been drawn to distant or even difficult people simply because they remind you of unresolved dynamics from your childhood. Moving forward with awareness. Armed with this awareness, we can start to make more conscious decisions about who we choose to let into our lives. We may realize that our initial types aren't necessarily the best for our happiness. And while it might not be easy to shift our patterns entirely, knowing that we carry emotional baggage can help us be more cautious when we feel swept off our feet after just a brief conversation. Remember, the excitement you feel at the start doesn't always equal long-term compatibility. Sometimes, the people who feel unfamiliar and even a bit boring might actually be the ones who can offer the stability and love you need for the long haul. So, how do you choose the right life partner? It's about understanding yourself first, your past, your patterns, and what you really need for happiness, not just what feels exciting in the moment. Love isn't just about finding someone who gives you butterflies. It's about building a life with someone who supports your growth, your well-being, and your joy. It's time to choose wisely. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and don't forget to share with a friend who might need to hear this.